the other side, Missouri Tigers coming off a tough year last season. They knew they had to have more talent. They got a great freshman recruiting class, and they've got a great transfer class. 5 different players have led them in scoring. They've got bench production because it doesn't matter who starts. They're going to be a lot of minutes. The big thing, Caleb Grill will be out tonight and maybe for a few games because of a neck injury.
And so far, the SEC is off to a great start across the board. Whether it was the championships, some of the Feast Week tournaments, for example, Auburn winning in Maui. But this is a conference right now that is rolling. And Missouri is a team, we'll see where they fit into the picture for Dennis Gates as far as the SEC goes.
Pretty good barometer. They started with the loss at Memphis, then they had 6 somewhat easy home games. Now you get into December. Both of these teams have this matchup, and then they both play their arch rival coming this weekend. Cal will play Stanford on Saturday. Missouri hosts Kansas here on Sunday.
And it's interesting that Dennis Gates coaching against his alma mater tonight. It's Dennis Gates, a Cal graduate, and then Mark Madsen, you alluded to, what's coming up this weekend for Cal. Mad Dog's going up against his alma mater in Stanford when Cal opens up ACC play against the Cardinal on Saturday in Berkeley.
And interesting today when you talked to Dennis Gates, and you were there when he was in school. He wasn't too concerned about playing his alma mater. He remembers the great memories from being 18 to 22 years old, but not too worked up about playing against Cal.
He said it would be a little different if, for example, Ben Braun, his coach from Cal, was on the other end of the floor, or there were some familiar faces. As Rytis Petraitis, a transfer from Air Force, at the line for Cal. After the foul was on Anthony Robinson, the second of Mizzou, as Cal breaks the seal, the first point of the night.
How good has Petraitis been as a transfer from Air Force for this Golden Bear squad? He does about everything. Scores a little bit, rebounds, takes charges, steals. He's an aggressive player.
So there's a review on this last play. And our officials tonight are Will Howard, when he's not playing quarterback for Ohio State. He moonlights as an official in college basketball. Anthony Jordan and Vladimir Voyard-Todal are our 3 referees here in Columbia tonight. And there is a review after the foul called on Robinson that sent Rytis Petraitis to the line for Cal.
After review, the call stands. Fouls on 0.
I believe they were checking to see, because there were 2 Mizzou Tigers there, that they had the right player on Missouri guilty of the foul.
Yeah, good call. You hate to have reviews at the 1935 mark.
25 seconds in, you're not big on that?
We have to get to that next game following us.
One more for Petraitis, 74% for the line.
One of the keys, a couple keys tonight for the Cal Bear team. They've got to take care of the basketball. In their loss on the road at Vanderbilt, they turned it over 20 times. They've also got a rebound. Missouri, very aggressive team, active on the boards, and active with their hands defensively.
And a foul and one that will send Anthony Robinson, the second, to the line. For Missouri, Joshua Ola-Joseph called for the foul.
Maybe one of the biggest steps from last year to this year on the play of any player is Anthony Robinson at the point guard position. His ability to get in the paint and deliver assists, but he can also score it himself. You saw the shot, averaging nearly 10 points a ball game this season.
And both teams get to the free throw line. And Missouri is 3rd in the country in most free throws attempted, Cal 22nd.
2 teams that I think are more aggressive at attacking the rim than they were a year ago.
Minnesota transfer Joshua Ola-Joseph
plays
the Michigan State transfer, Marty Sissoko.
Yeah, you're going to be saying transfer all night long with this squad.
Step back, missed by Andre Stojakovic. The rebound, Robinson. Here comes Mizzou.
And Mizzou will push, and they'll look for early shots like this one by Bates.
Too strong from Tamar Bates, and a foul going for the rebound. And it's against California.
It will be a physical game. And Mark Madsen in the shoot-around today talked to his team about how physical this is going to be. You've got to hang on to the ball. When you block out, you've got to be solid on the block-out area. Boateng, only a freshman. He's got the body of like a 26 or 7-year-old player.
Off the inbound, Tamar Bates missing from the corner. The offensive rebound, Mark Mitchell for Mizzou. He can't get it inside, and Monty Sissoko clears for Cal.
And Mark Madsen was up quickly because Tamar Bates does not miss many open looks, and they can't allow that to happen.
Stripped from Stojakovic, and it's last touched by Cal, and we're going the other way. It belongs to Missouri.
One of the things from Stojakovic that he didn't do as much at Stanford last season as a freshman as he's doing this season. Puts it on the floor, tries to get contact, gets to the foul line.
He's averaging over 8 free throw attempts per game, just along the lines of what you're talking about. Now Christian Tucker called for his second, and he's in some frustration right now. 2 fouls within the first minute 34. And so he will have to check out. And the return for Javon Blackshear Jr. for Cal, as he's missed the last 3 games dealing with an injury. He started the first 4 games for Cal, was playing extremely well.
And second leading scorer at over 16 points a game. Great player, great career at Grand Canyon, though he had the major knee injury a couple years ago. But he's a solid player out front for this Bear squad.
And the pull-up jumper, Anthony Robinson the second, is all 5 for Mizzou.
You see Robinson's ability to get the ball where he wants. He's 6'3", he's tall, he gets quick off the floor and over the top of the smaller Blackshear.
Shot clock down to 10. Here's Blackshear. Finds Monty Sissoko, who finishes inside.
A bad defensive play by Anthony Robinson. He went for a ball fake. Blackshear very smart, been around the game. Ball fake, gets it on the dribble, and then an easy basket inside. But you can see how aggressive Missouri is on the defensive end.
Ten to shoot for Mizzou. Anthony Robinson on the drive, and the foul called against California. And 2 shots coming up for Missouri.
Older players smart on how their ability is to break down the defense. There's the ball fake. Now you draw the big outside, the easy bounce pass. It's Sissoko, big, strong, physical. As you mentioned, the transfer from Michigan State. He'll finish all of those if you give it to him.
He picked up the foul at this end, the first on Sissoko.
And I thought a tough call. Robinson made the drive. Blackshear got out of the way, not in control of his body. Sissoko just kind of there.
And it rolls in for Anthony Robinson the second, the sophomore from Tallahassee. Leading Missouri in assists, second in rebounds for a 6'3" guard.
Last year, 4 points a game, 13 minutes a game. This year, up to 21 minutes and nearly 10 points. Off to a fabulous start tonight.
Anthony Robinson the second, 7, Cal 4. And now some full court pressure from Mizzou. Blackshear back for Cal, coming off the bench for the first time.
Little weave out front, very common under the Mark Madsen offense.
Regis Petritis, the runner across the key, deflected out by Monty Sissoko, and we're going the other way. It belongs to Missouri.
Not a good shot, and Blackshear's got to understand when there's a step out by a Josh Gray that big, that means a big's going to be open. You've got to be able to turn the corner on him, and if he's not open, then the weak side guy will be open for a shot.
When you have so many new parts like Cal does, it takes a while to gel and figure each other out.
It does.
And a steal, here comes Blackshear.
And a good non-call right there.
Joshua Ola Joseph drops it in.
Ola Joseph is a high jumper. I mean, he will go above the rim, play above it. If Aiden Shaw gets in for Missouri and Ola Joseph for Cal, it'll be a great matchup. Let's raise the rim to 13 feet.
Just for those two guys.
Just for those two. Blackshear is very physical.
Step back. And it rattles home for Anthony Robinson the second. He is on 9 for Missouri.
Yeah, what a start. He is responding to the physical play by Blackshear, the older veteran player.
Shot clock at 10. Andre Stojakovic.
Great defense.
And here comes Missouri on the attack. And a block is called as Mark Mitchell went crashing into the lane. Good start for Anthony Robinson the second. He is all 9 for Missouri.
Larry Butler's coach called him the sheriff. The guy that was in charge took charge, and he played on quite a squad with Quentin Richardson and Corey Getty, Darius Miles. He was not happy about last season, not winning a game in the SEC. And had to reload, had a great recruiting class of freshmen that we'll see a few of them play tonight. Good transfers, including Mark Mitchell at the foul line.
The Duke transfer misses both. Mady Sissoko the rebound. And Cal already in a little foul difficulty. Sissoko has 2. Christian Tucker on the bench with 2. And the team fouls are 5 against Cal, only 1 against Missouri.
So far, they have stayed down on Stojakovic, not taking any fakes outside. And when he drives it, they've not bought any of his ball fakes.
Offensive rebound, Mady Sissoko, the kick out. Stojakovic missing the 3. And the back tap by Rytis Petraitis. Jeremiah Wilkinson, the freshman, the ACC Rookie of the Week, ties the game.
He has been fabulous, coming off 25 points. Last 3 games, he has averaged over 21 points with Blackshear out of the lineup for 3 games.
Mark Mitchell underneath. And Mitchell lays it in, and Missouri reclaims the lead.
How quickly the Tigers will go from one end to the other. Even after a score, they will push to try to get on top of it.
The first non-Anthony Robinson, the second points for Missouri. Andre Stojakovic gets to the basket. His first points for Cal's leading scorer on the season.
Again, he's 6'7", so don't just think he's a shooting guard. Puts it on the floor, loves to finish or get fouled.
Here's Robinson. Off balance. And the rebound, Rytis Petraitis throws it off of, it appeared, Mark Mitchell. And we're still waiting for a signal from our crew who's got the ball, and it belongs to Cal. Vanderbilt transfer. Lee Dort checks in for Cal. Mady Sissoko will lead with 2 fouls.
And Dort's a big physical player, loves to be around the rim. And take a look. Here's what Petraitis does. Game in, game out, all the tough plays, all the loose balls. He's going to be on the floor, diving. He gives Mark Madsen's team energy at all times. Not a big scorer, not a great shooter, just kind of does everything else. I just thought it was, I'll go back and make the point. Mark Madsen can shoot around. Emphasize how physical that his Cal Bears will have to be against a Missouri team. I love the combination of Jeremiah Wilkinson, the freshman, in with Blackshear in the backcourt.
And Wilkinson is taking advantage of the absence of some key guys for Cal and made the most of his minutes as Andre Stojakovic missing a 3. And the rebound secured by Missouri and Aiden Shaw. But Javon Blackshear returning tonight for Cal. They're still without DJ Campbell, their starting 2-guard, the transfer from Western Carolina. And BJ Omot is also out, the transfer from North Dakota, as Rytis Petraitis, who leads Cal in steals, has another. And he skips to the basket, and Cal with the lead.
And the 2 names you mentioned are both starters. So this Cal team has been without those guys for 3 games. But it allows Mark Madsen to figure out who else can step up and perform. And you already talked about one, Jeremiah Wilkinson. He's been fantastic.
And regardless of when the roster's full, he's getting minutes.
Yeah,
he's clearly earned them.
There's no doubt.
Nice give and go. Anthony Robinson, the kick out.
You know, it's interesting watching Missouri in the offensive end.
On the baseline! Tamar Bates climbs the ladder.
Known as an outside shooter. What a finish.
I think we can change that moniker.
Well, the movement on the offensive end, I was going to say they've heavily relied on Anthony Robinson with the basketball, but Tamar Bates, we know the numbers. He shoots a high percentage shot from the field, from beyond the 3-point line, and above 90% for the free throw line. But up and over the top, and Lee Dort went, oh my, that wasn't in the scouting report.
By the way, second foul on Anthony Robinson, the second, so he checks out. Marquez Warwick is in the game, the transfer from Northern Kentucky. Part of this deep roster that Missouri has, and a foul out top on Tamar Bates.
So you've got left-handed Jeremiah Wilkinson, and Tamar Bates is left-handed. Now, Bates did not want him to go left, but he didn't shield him enough And so Wilkinson took advantage and went hard left. Still got the contact. And Wilkinson's been great in these last 3 games, not just shooting the basketball, but off the dribble.
Spencer Mahoney in the game for Cal, and the redshirt freshman challenged inside by Aiden Shaw, who led Missouri in blocks a year ago. Tony Perkins in the game. And Perkins the pull-up. And Perkins gives Mizzou the lead again.
Perkins was slowed early this season by a hamstring. Thought he played his best game the last time out against Lindenwood and 18 points. An all-league player in the Big Ten for Iowa.
Last 4 years at Iowa, as Javon Blackshear got dropped on the sideline, and the foul is on Josh Gray of Missouri, his first. And physicality, look, this team takes on the personnel or the persona of Dennis Gates, and this is the way he wants him to play because he was a defensive-minded player. Well, I got to tell you, my favorite Dennis story, though, John, from when he was playing at Cal, was during his senior year. He needed an emergency appendectomy. He played on a Thursday night against USC. Then had the procedure on Friday, obviously missed the game Saturday against UCLA, was so determined to come back. He returned to practice on the following Wednesday. He missed 5 days after an emergency appendectomy. Maybe I'm telling too much of the story, but Dennis to the point where he used duct tape on himself to hold his body together so he could play. And he returned and played Thursday night.
Well, a tough guy, tough player, tough coach. And his teams reflect that on how they play.
Marquez Warwick weaves his way inside. And the rebound tipped out to Jovan Blackshear. On the attack is Andrei Stojakovic. And Blackshear gets clobbered and will get to the line. Tonight's game not for the faint of heart, John.
You know what? I think it's a terrific matchup, and both teams trying to find their way. It's physical, powerful, but inside there are results not only from the outside but around the rim. Tigers of Mizzou up 2.
Start since 2016, 2017, when they started 7-1 with Cal being 6-1. And you want to put that in perspective? Konzo Martin, that was his last season as the Cal coach before he took the Missouri job.
We got a lot of ties in.
There are.
I thought the impressive win.
By the way, our 5th tie of the game, just to point that out.
And I thought the impressive win for Cal was after the Vanderbilt loss, when they went on the road at USC and won that ball.
Tough shot missed inside by Tony Perkins. The rebound, Lee Dort for Cal.
Perkins is a physical guard, and Blackshear might not be as tall, but he doesn't mind the physicality. He'll fight you.
And the freshman Jeremiah Wilkinson drives to the cup.
Impressive. Again, they've got to get on that left hand and make sure he wants to go a different way. He can, but make sure he can finish the other way.
Powder Springs, Georgia native, has 5 points to pace Cal. Tony Perkins rims out a 3. Spencer Mahoney the rebound. Cal pushes. 1
shot and done, and that was emphasized today. Cal must rebound.
And they have been a good rebounding team so far in the year. They're a +7 per game. Jovan Blackshear drains a 3, and Cal is up 5, their largest lead.
Cal using the ability off the dribble to get to the paint and then kick it out.
7-0 run for the Golden Bears. Missing the leader, Mark Mitchell. Cal racing back the other way.
1 and done and numbers.
Jeremiah Wilkinson had a good look and tracking it down. Aiden Shaw for Mizzou. Foul, and Mark Mitchell to the line. It's on Jeremiah Wilkinson.
I know Wilkinson has shot the ball well. He's made 2 shots. 1 more pass. They got a better shot in the corner. Stojakovic is standing there. So, again, you learn. And each possession's important. You go on the road in these big matchups, and Wilkinson had it. Guy hand in his face. 1 more pass. Your teammate's got a wide open look.
Mark Mitchell 0 for 2 from the line. 63% on the year for the former McDonald's All-American. Played 2 years at Duke. That ends a drought of about almost 2.5 minutes for Missouri. Wednesday, December 11th, we'll have the exclusive reveal of next year's SEC football schedule at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, a complete breakdown of each school and the top matchups for 2025. Coverage starts 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on SEC Network as Mitchell buries both free throws.
And Missouri has backed up a little bit. Remember the early pressure. Now they're in a matchup zone 1-3-1.
Is that because Cal is getting some pretty good looks?
I think so. Well, they're not being bothered by any of the man-to-man pressure. Cal's not been able to beat them off the dribble, but get deep enough to where there's got to be help defense.
Second three for Jovan Blacksher Jr. and Cal a 6-point lead. Mark Mitchell, three.
He will not shoot many of those. Only a 21% three-point shooter.
Now 4 for 15 from three this year. And he cuts the California lead in half.
Roxy, you see Cal a lot. They're a different team with Blacksher in the lineup.
No question. He gives them a presence and leadership on the court, and he runs the game for Mark Madsen. Offensive rebound, Lee Dort.
Big, strong, physical. We saw that at Vanderbilt, those of you who are in the SEC world.
And he powered it back up and a 5-point California lead. First points for Dort.
What a good matchup. Wilkinson and Robinson.
Swatted by Lee Dort on the help side defense.
Wow. I think every official is looking at each other to see was it going in the rim or not, but Lee Dort loves the physicality of any type of game, and I'm sure all the guys tonight like the fact that you can bump, you can hold, you can grab a little more tonight than they have in the past.
The other thing that probably both teams are getting comfortable with, John, is the fact they know how the game's getting called. There's consistent officiating, which is all you ask for.
I think when good officials, when you start getting into these two leagues and league play or playing against each other, a little bump, a little shove is okay. You can't hold and grab, especially out front. Boy, Petritis has got active hands every time.
8 on the shot clock for Missouri. First appearance for Trent Pierce, the sophomore from Tulsa for Mizzou.
Another spot-up shooter, even though he's tall.
On the drive, Marquez Warwick against Christian Tucker back in the game, and Warwick uses the window.
He's got a lot of angles and avenues to make shots. Warwick, a great scorer a year ago. He transferred left-handed, but that was with his right hand. He's got a number of ways he can beat you.
Loose ball, here comes Missouri racing out, Jacob Cruz. And he misses the layup. Christian Tucker, the rebound, and Cal counters back the other way.
How about the hustle by Mahoney to stay in the play?
The three missed by Mahoney. Lee Dort underneath. Dort goes back up. He can't get the roll. And the rebound battled for and controlled by Josh Gray from Mizzou. Then a foul on Reedus Petritis. Cal by 3 in Columbia, Missouri. In the SEC.
9 players in NCAA this season that was born before the year 2000. So he's been around a while. But it's good to see him healthier because of the big knee injury January 2023. Preseason WAC Player of the Year going into that season, and the major injury. He played a little bit last year, but it's good to see him healthy, and his game is so good.
Jeremiah Wilkinson, and 1 for the freshman.
They have a star in the making at Cal and Jeremiah Wilkinson. And why do I say that? He has no fear of how to play the game. He's physical, he's tough, he's got a good-sized body. 6'1", 185. You already know he likes to take the bump, right? Some guys shy away from it. He takes the bump. He receives it and then goes back and goes at it again. And take a look at those numbers. The last 3 games with the 3 starters that have been out. And
the Powder Springs, Georgia native.
Well, the great thing about those guys being out, Mark Madsen and the coaching staff found something that wasn't getting as many minutes. Now all of a sudden he's a regular in the rotation, and who knows if he's going to be a starter.
Cal has matched their largest lead, and a deep 3 from Marquez Warwick for Mizzou.
And I mentioned the fact he's a transfer, Northern Kentucky. 4-time All-Horizon League, averaged 20 points a game last year there. over 2,300 points in his career.
The all-time leading scorer in Northern Kentucky history. Missouri's showing a zone.
Matchup zone. You'd like to see the ball enter into the middle of that so you can shrink it and then make it expand. Right there, perfect pass.
Shot clock rolling down and going to work inside. Joshua Ola-Joseph for Cal.
Minnesota transferred last year. He played against Mizzou. Missouri winning that game at Minnesota. Ola-Joseph had 8 points and 2 rebounds in that contest.
Marquez Warwick inside.
Now either coaching staff is trying to figure out how do we stop the other team from scoring.
First appearance for T.O. Barrett, the freshman from Oklahoma City, part of this heralded Mizzou recruiting class. And he's by himself for this lap. Timeout, Cal.
Mark Madsen talked about one thing Cal could not do is turn the ball over. You got to be strong with the basketball. There'll be some slaps, there'll be some grabs, there'll be some holds. If you turn it over, Missouri converts quickly to the other end. You mentioned T.O. Barrett, one of the freshmen that were highly thought of in the recruiting world. The 5 guys that came in here has not played many minutes so far, but Dennis Gates is not afraid to put anybody in a game to maybe change the course of how the game is going. Barrett comes in, they put a little zone defense, active hands, he gets a steal, goes the other way.
And it's those turnovers that'll hurt you. Mark Madsen this morning was talking about, John, he doesn't necessarily want, but he can live with the dead ball turnovers.
Yeah.
It's the live balls that lead to runouts like we just saw, and now Missouri has some momentum.
And Mark Madsen missed the Vandy game because of the birth of his 5th child. But in the
Cal's
Vandy,
undefeated with him in the building.
And in the Vandy game, they turned it over. There were 18. They had 20 turnovers. There were 18 steals by Vanderbilt. Like it was just handing the ball to him. Vanderbilt went down, laid it in. You can't do it that way.
Jovan Blacksher back in the game for Mark Madsen. And a whistle away from the ball, and a foul on Missouri that will put Cal into the bonus.
I don't know if you saw that, but the whistle blew, and Jeremiah Wilkinson continued to play, came off a screen, shot about a 29-footer with a hand in his face, whistle already blown, all net. I mean, he looked at Anthony Robinson and said, hey, come on now.
And
maybe,
they're going to monitor again.
I think it was Warren.
As they've sent teams to their benches, not sure if they're checking on the number or if they're going to upgrade it from a common foul here. And the ruling on the floor was a foul on Josh Gray, his 2nd.
The ruling on the court is a common foul. Previous play is under review for a flagrant foul on Cal.
Called a common foul.
On Missouri.
They're looking.
But
and it was called on Josh Gray.
But then they were mentioned in the in-house microphone here that they're looking for a foul against Cal.
See, now that wasn't, so they didn't call Gray for that first hook on Wilkinson. They called the foul there, so I don't know where they're looking.
The only thing I could think of, John, is when Mady Sissoko was trying to post up, that maybe his elbow got Josh Gray on the side of the face. That's the only thing I can think of that could be what the officials are looking at from that sequence we just saw.
I think they've made the guys who wear the striped shirts, I think they've made it a difficult game to officiate.
I don't know if it's necessarily them. How about it's the rules they're trying to
enforce?
That's what I mean.
Yes. I mean, it's just becoming a hard game because of all the rules.
For them.
So here's the push, and there's a foul on
After
Gray.
review, the call stands. Common foul on white number 33.
So the call stands. And look, Mady Sissoko, was there contact to the head area? Maybe.
Yeah.
but it also was a basketball play because he was trying to get wide, and he was adjusting from the contact that Josh Gray had given him. 1-1 for Sissoko, 71%. Starter the last 2 years for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Played 4 years for the Spartans. Academic All Big Ten selection.
Had a solid game in the first round of the NCAA against SEC opponent Mississippi State, 9 rebounds.
And he missed the front end. And it's last touch by California. Rytis Petraitis trying to go for the replay, but not now, Rytis. You got to wait till the final 2 minutes of the game. Doesn't work that way.
And Petraitis is everywhere. Everywhere.
Willie's from the Air Force Academy, flying jets. Maybe at some point he was going to. Marcus Allen, the freshman from Miami, checks in for Dennis Gates in Missouri.
And you're going to like Allen, an outstanding defender, also good on the offensive end. Petraitis with a knockaway.
And the feed from Javon Blacksher and laid in by Rytis Petraitis.
He's not the kind of guy that knocks the ball away from the guy he's guarding. He knocks it away from other players. He plays off the ball.
And the foul will send the freshman Marcus Allen to the line for Missouri. First on Andre Stojakovic.
So take a look where Petraitis comes from the weak side. Now he and Blacksher, I'm not sure who they're going to give it to. Both guys were there. But once it's loose, it's a dead sprint to the other end.
So Allen, the freshman, ranked number 74 in ESPN's 100 by Paul Biancardi, ESPN's national recruiting director. Coming up, the SEC championship game. We've got you covered Saturday with a 4-hour pregame. It all starts noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central with Marty and McGee, followed by SEC Nation. And we've got Skycast version of the game. Just above the field, the SEC championship game coming up Saturday in Atlanta. What do you like?
Well, I'll be honest. I think the first matchup that was dominated by the Bulldogs, I think the Longhorns will be good at this one.
I love Texas' defense. Jeremiah Wilkinson on the drive, and he'll get to the line. With Cal in the bonus, it's on Marcus Allen of Mizzou.
You think of what the Longhorns did walking into College Station and just, I thought, dominated the game. Maybe the score didn't say that, but A&M had no answers for the physicality that the Longhorns
line of scrimmage, especially their front seven defensively. You think of Sark as an offensive guy, but his defense this year.
I think Georgia's still tired from all the overtimes. That was spectacular.
One more for Jeremiah Wilkinson. He has 9 off the bench to lead Cal. He was the first high school signee for Mark Madsen, as Madsen now beginning year 2 as the Cal head coach.
First 2 years in high school, McKirchen High School, Powder Springs, Georgia, what you said. Now they produced a few good players. Isaac Okoro went to Auburn. Sharif Cooper went to Auburn. Josh Smith went right to the NBA. They produced a few.
Georgia's been kind to Cal when you look at some of the recruits they've had out of Georgia. Jalen Brown, Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
Another good one.
Kenyon Jones was another one.
And here's a great way that Mark Madsen said today. We're in the ACC, so this young man will be seen by his parents in a lot of games.
T.O. Barrett, the scoop, and it's caught out of the air by Monty Sissoko. Goaltending is the call. They can review it, and they will at the next timeout.
I love it. He just caught it. I don't know if it was going to get to the rim. And wasn't it going up?
I think it's still going up.
I do too.
I think that call will get reversed.
He could easily blocked it. I don't think it would have been called, but they're not going to take a look at it.
Well, they will. He made the signal. So at the TV timeout, they will review it. Because goaltending was the call on the floor, it becomes reviewable. As of now, it's a good bucket for Barrett.
Stop and go hesitation.
And Javon Blacksher has it deflected out by Barrett.
Now, T.O. Barrett's got to be careful. He's got his mouth going a little bit. Blacksher, the old guy's not going to worry about that. Got to stay calm, especially when you're young. Don't fire up the old guys. Reminds you of like playing against your uncle or something. You know, the old guys. I think of Janai Broom down at Auburn. He seems like he's been around for 12 years and just dominated.
Delay of game warning to Missouri because the ball on the inbound was caught out of bounds. I believe it was Marcus Allen over there on the baseline that
and it's
tried
got
to
to cross.
intercept it.
It's got to cross the end line.
And the official's interpretation, it did. That's why the delay of game.
Correct.
Wilkinson down the lane. He lost it going up. Monty Sissoko point blank can't cash in. And Josh Gray in physical rebound. Here comes Missouri.
If you look at Missouri's offensive squad now, Warwick is the main scorer.
An errant pass, and Rytis Petritis runs it down. Goes the other way. Petritis, and he gets clobbered, will shoot two. Tight one in Columbia.
Hey, most guys would have let that go out of bounds. Petritis didn't. It goes the other way. Now he goes to the free throw line. Cal, Missouri in a battle.
Here's one more look at it. In the up and under by T.O. Barrett.
I think, okay, if he blocks it, it looked like it was short of the bucket, too.
Yeah.
But that you got to let it have a chance.
Exactly. But I still,
okay, if he tipped.
To me, it's not on its way down. I think it's still going up.
Yeah, close.
Again, the ruling on the floor was goaltending and a good bucket.
And they're going to say, let's. I'm looking for a signal. I'm doing my hand signals over here, partner.
I thought I saw him signal no bucket, but I could be wrong. That's what happens when I try to read sign language. Official sign language. They still have it 34-33 on the board, which means it is good. So they are sticking with the call on the floor that it was a good bucket. Okay. So the bucket for T.O. Barrett stands. And now Rytis Petritis will shoot two for California with 3:37 left in the half.
Petritis off to a good first half. 6 points, couple steals, couple assists. 2 of 2 from the field, 2 of 2 from the foul line. But it's interesting that last play that he made. That ball's coming out of bounds in front of us. Most guys, you just let it out. He didn't. Now he had a chance of it. It could have been a turnover. He picked it up, goes the other way, gets to the foul line.
2 shots for Petritis. Played the last 2 years at Air Force. He averaged almost 16 a game last year. In fact, Petritis led the Air Force Academy in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and blocks last year.
That's a full stat sheet every night. And watching Cal play this year, watching every game, so efficient on both ends of the floor.
And not to mention when you're at the Air Force Academy, you have all your responsibilities.
Yes.
Cal is led by as many as 6 in this first half. And a Missouri team that averages over 90 points per game. And a steal, Andre Stojakovic, then a foul, and Cal will go to the line.
And solid defense by Blackshear on Warwick. Blackshear thought, he doesn't think, he knows he got hit by an elbow. Mark Madsen trying to figure out why there wasn't a whistle call, but that led to the turnover. Now Stojakovic, who's been quiet this first half. Anytime a shooter can get to the foul line, that sometimes gets their game going.
Second on Tamar Bates. And one more for Andre Stojakovic, who again averages over 8 free throw attempts per game. And that's the part of his game which you talked about, John, that he's added to from a year ago.
You know, last year he didn't shoot many free throws at Stanford, and he only made 53%, but he didn't shoot many. Like, he didn't get there on a regular basis. This year, regular basis, regular dosage, 80%.
Cal's made the most of the Missouri turnovers. Mizzou's turned it over 5 times. Cal's got 10 points out of it, and now another turnover.
And Cal is so active with their hands defensively. They're getting a lot of touches on any of the penetration by this Missouri Tiger team.
Jovan Blackshear, 3. Timeout, Missouri. largest lead for California, and Blacksher having a huge impact in his return for Mark Madsen.
You wondered how he would come off that injury and sitting out 3 games, but we've got the answer. A veteran player that knows how to deliver from both ends of the court. And what I'm impressed with, Missouri's gone a lot of more one-on-one basketball. And Cal is getting active and getting the touch and a handle on that ball. So there's not easy shots anymore like they had at the start of the game. Remember the start of the game, Anthony Robinson had the first 9 points for Missouri, scoreless since.
7-0 run for Cal, and Jovan Blacksher, 11 points, 4 assists, really has sparked Cal.
Yeah, again, coming off the injury, understanding how to play, the veteran type player. Doesn't have to score to be effective, gets teammates involved, whether it's by pass or active, but he is showing his range tonight. 13 points off of 6 turnovers they have, but look what Blacksher's doing. He is stretching this Missouri defense with that ability to make long shots.
He's shooting 55% from 3 so far on the season.
Impressive.
And Cal is 4 of 9 from downtown tonight.
And now Missouri needs a basket on this end. Tamar Bates has been quiet. And he's a guy that has been always a great shooter.
Mark Mitchell, who made a 3 earlier, and the rebound tip, Lee Dort controls for Cal. Left open, Andre Stojakovic, 3. And a double-digit lead for Cal.
And who's on the assist? Blacksher. Knows the field, sees it all.
10 straight for the Golden Bears. And Lee Dort the rebound.
And I'll say this, Missouri's offense, it's a one shot and done. Cal blocking out exactly what Mark Madsen wanted this squad to do.
Jeremiah Wilkinson, 3! 13-0 run for Cal. And an offensive foul on Missouri. And the Tigers seem out of sorts right now.
They do seem out of sorts. A lot of bouncing of the basketball. Not enough passing, not enough cutting, one-on-one moves. They have not been able to beat one-on-one their defender, and then they're getting wrapped up. That time a little handoff. Smart play by Wilkinson. Go into the big. You might have to sacrifice your face like he did. Picked up another personal foul.
Cal's now 6 for 11 from 3. They're shooting over 50% for the game.
But you think of the last time out, Missouri comes out, the shot they get is Mark Mitchell with a 3. He's only 20% three-point shooter.
And a turnover by Cal. Mark Mitchell in transition. Mitchell has a shot blocked by Lee Dort.
Man, Dort has been fabulous off the bench.
Andre Stojakovic spins it in. 15 straight for Cal.
Now, how does Missouri get an answer? You can't get it just by yourself. You got to find out how to get teammates open. And again, one of the better players, Tamar Bates, misses 1 point blank at the rim. Numbers again.
Stojakovic and a goaltend against Trent Pierce. 2 more for California. And it's an 18-point lead. The Golden Bears right now on a 17-0 run.
Right now, Missouri can't get to the locker room quickly enough. Cal pounding the Tigers on both ends of the floor. Got to have an answer, Perkins. Someone's got to step up, make a shot.
And a block. And it's on Jovan Blacksher. And that's the first on the senior. And that will get Missouri to the line. And for the Tigers, they're hoping it stops the bleeding.
It was interesting. Now, Perkins drives. If there was no whistle, he kicked out to Aiden Shaw. Aiden Shaw would have taken the 3, and Aiden Shaw is not a big-time three-point shooter. It's interesting the spacing they get, and the guys are getting to take the shots.
1 and 1 for Perkins, 9th team foul. And he misses. It's like there's a lid on the basket at this end for Mizzou. They've been scoreless for about 4 minutes.
And Roxy, you can just tell the look on the Cal Bears faces, the confidence is at an all-time level.
About a 5-second differential between the shot and half clock. Tough off-balance runner in and out for Jeremiah Wilkinson. One last crack from Missouri. Tony Perkins races up the floor. A driving Mark Mitchell slam. That'll take us to halftime, and maybe that will settle in Missouri. But Cal closes the first half on a 19-2 run.
Impressive first half, especially the last 5 minutes for this Cal Bears team.
Strong close for the Golden Bears, up 15 on the road at Missouri. Sent into the studio on our halftime report.
A lot more pressure and probably get this game up tempo.
And keep in mind, Missouri averages 51 bench points per game. They were outscored by the reserves from Cal in the first half.
And if we think of Missouri, Caleb Grill is out for the game. A year ago after he got hurt. They were 7-2 with him in the lineup a year ago. When he got hurt, only 1-22. They miss his toughness, his presence, and his shooting ability.
On the offensive glass, Josh Gray's first points of the night. And you can make the case that Caleb Grill is Missouri's best player.
Well, he's the toughest player, and he does a wide variety of things, much like Petritus does, but he's probably a little better scorer than Petritus.
Monty Sissoko dives for a loose ball. Dimitas Petritus saves it. And now Andrei Stojakovic slithers inside. Missed. Mark Mitchell clears. Here comes Mizzou.
Roxy, I think Cal has to have answers early because Missouri's going to push this tempo. They're going to trap on the defensive end. I think Cal's got to have some early baskets.
Sealing the defense. Josh Gray clearing a path for Anthony Robinson II. His first points since he scored the first 9 for Missouri.
And I don't think Blacksher or Wilkinson will sit long before they get back in this game.
6-0 run for Mizzou, back to the first half. When Mitchell had the dunk to end the first half. And it's deflected out, 10 on the shot clock for the Cal Bears. And Caleb Grill, in case you're wondering the injury, in their last win against Lindenwood last Wednesday, he took a nasty fall and he has a neck injury, and right now they're not exactly sure when they'll get him back. He is on the bench, but he's got a neck brace on.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning at shoot around, and again, he wasn't sure what the prognosis is. He hopes he's back sooner than later. Blacksher in the game quickly for this Cal squad.
And he gets to the basket, blocked at the rim by Marquez Warren. Here comes Missouri, 2-on-2. Mitchell down the lane and a foul. It's on Joshua Ola-Joseph, and it seems that Missouri, as you take a look at Caleb Grill on the bench there with the brace on, but whatever message Dennis Gates delivered at halftime, Missouri's carrying it out here on the floor.
You know, you see Grill in a neck brace. This season, averaging nearly 14 a game, 55% beyond the three-point line. He was 8 of 10 against Eastern Washington, 33 points in that game. So it's a vital miss, but if you're Missouri and a player of Missouri, you've got more minutes. Right now, they got the first 5 points of this half. Mark Manson's got to figure out a way, even though it's early in this half, is A, either get a timeout, or B, get something on the offensive end where you get a bucket.
One more for Mark Mitchell. So Missouri's missing Grill. Cal getting Javon Blacksher back from injury tonight after missing the last 3 games. DJ Campbell missing his 4th consecutive game, and the same for BJ Omot. And Campbell's day-to-day, Cal hoping they'll have him back for Stanford on Saturday in their ACC debut. Well, BJ Omot's going to be a little bit longer.
And Omot did not make the trip here. And so we'll see how long he's out.
It rattles in for Mark Mitchell. 8-0 run for Missouri.
Full court pressure. Blacksher usually can handle it well. Expect there to be more trapping, again, by this Missouri defense.
So an 18-point lead is down to 10. Dimitas Petritus. Here's Blacksher, and he launches a 3. And that one rims out, cleared by Josh Gray. No look pass inside, and the fadeaway at the baseline. Tamar Bates, timeout Cal. tonight. Syracuse at Tennessee.
I always think these matchups, which road team can get a win. Last year we already mentioned Missouri won at Pitt, Clemson won at Alabama. Now if you lose one of these games, it doesn't really matter. Alabama lost last year, went to the Final Four. North Carolina State got blown out at Ole Miss by 20. They went to the Final Four.
And last year it was 7-7. Now the last time these two teams met in a situation like this where it's a conference challenge, they were both in different leagues, as Jeremiah Wilkinson is fouled by Tamar Bates. The third on Bates that will send the Cal freshman to the line. But Cal and Missouri met a little over 15 years ago in back-to-back years in what was the Pac-10 Big 12 Hardwood Series when Mike Montgomery was coaching Cal, and Cal beat Missouri in Berkeley, and then Mizzou under Frank Haith returned the favor here the next year. One more for Jeremiah Wilkinson.
Quickly, when Wilkinson got in the lineup, they could put the ball in his hands. His ability to be strong enough with the basketball. Not only can get his shots, or he wants to get shots, but he drew contact, gets to the foul line.
Team leading 14 points for Wilkinson. And that ends that run of 10 straight for Missouri back to the first half. Last time these two teams played, it was in Kansas City back in November of 2011. When Cal got boat raced by Missouri. And that was a foul in the drive, the second on Jeremiah Wilkinson. That was a really good Missouri team where Kim English, now the coach of Providence, was the star player for Mizzou.
Yeah, they could put a lot of points on teams in a hurry.
Well, they put 92 on Cal that night.
Marcus Denman.
Yeah.
They had guys that could score from all 5 positions.
And that was a Cal team that went to the NCAA tournament also. That Mizzou team earned a 2 seed. Finished second in the Big 12 that year to Kansas. Speaking of KU, of course, they'll be here for a much anticipated reunion with Mizzou on Sunday.
Bill Self's got, again, one of the best teams in the country. DeJuan Harris returns back to his hometown, Columbia. He played right here at Rockbridge High School.
Anthony Robinson II cuts the Cal lead to 7. He's 5 for 5 from the line. Left open, Rytis Petritis had a good look. And the offensive rebound, Monty Sissoko keeps it alive for Cal. And now Blackshear in a mismatch trying to utilize his quickness against Gray. And an offensive foul to charge. The second on Rytis Petritis.
Too much bounce. Good defense by this Missouri Tiger team, especially by Josh Gray. They got out rebounded, but Gray stayed in front of Blackshear, did not let him get a shot or beat him off the dribble.
Too much bounce. That's what you saw with Missouri in their struggles toward the end of the first half, and now Cal is kind of caught in that problem.
Exactly right. And when you have too much bounce, like Robinson did that time, everybody kind of stands around and watches.
Tamar Bates. And the rebound flying for it, Monty Sissoko for Cal.
Sissoko and Dort are outstanding rebounders for this Cal Bears team.
The steal, Anthony Robinson. Ahead. Marquez Warwick had it taken away, and then a foul on Warwick as the freshman Jeremiah Wilkinson, a terrific play, but no, the foul's on Cal.
I think they just called it on the end line out of bounds.
Okay.
They first were pointing as though it was a foul. I just think he stepped out of bounds. Wilkinson came out of nowhere to make a play.
No foul. It's out of bounds to Missouri. And the first appearance for Mizzou tonight for their big man, Peyton Marshall, the freshman from Atlanta, part of this heralded recruiting class, which was ranked the 12th best in incoming class of freshmen in the country. Mid-range, Tamar Bates.
A good set play from underneath out of bounds to get Bates a shot.
An 18-point Cal lead is down to 5. Inside 16 minutes to go. Inside, Monty Sissoko And the finish, Joshua Ola-Joseph.
Right place, right time.
And a much-needed bucket for Cal. Their first field goal since halftime. Tamar Bates again for Mizzou. And the Indiana transfer. And a foul off the ball, and it's on Aiton Shaw of Missouri as he shoved Mady Sissoko. Missouri's cut it down to 5, getting tight in Columbia.
What a great coach. Great addition to Dennis Gates' squad.
And he's worked with Dennis at 2 stops when Dennis was an assistant to Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. Dickie Nutt was on that staff, as well as worked with Dennis at Cleveland State, as Jeremiah Wilkinson knocks down another 3. 17 for Wilkinson, his third 3.
Yeah, rarely do you say that you're going to go to a freshman to get you big buckets. But I think the Cal Bears have a guy that they can do this all season long.
And a strong move by Anthony Robinson II for Missouri. He's got 15 to lead the Tigers.
And does it appear Missouri might have a new leader on the floor with a guy like Ant Robinson for this season? Impressive.
Certainly looking that way tonight.
Yeah.
Andrei Stojakovic left the ball behind. 3-on-1 for Mizzou. The lob. But Tamar Bates lost it, chased it down, and capitalizes. Cal's lead is 4.
The tale of 2 halves, right, partner?
It's been all Missouri since halftime. Joshua Ola-Joseph. And the rebound, Peyton Marshall for Mizzou. The lob! Aiton Shaw up above everybody. And a foul will get Andrei Stojakovic to the line.
We talked about the ability in the first half of Aiton Shaw when he gets in. You can raise the rims another 3 feet. Anthony Robinson sieves him from the corner and puts it just right outside the rim. Ola-Joseph trying to keep him out of the lob play. Spectacular.
22-6, Missouri has outscored Cal since that last bucket to end the first half. Andrei Stojakovic, 2 shots, 3rd foul on Anthony Robinson II. If you're Dennis Gates, do you ride Robinson with the 3 fouls right now?
I think you do, just because of how he's playing, but you got to tell him. Here's the hard part, because Dennis Gates' team is aggressive defensively. He's got to stay away from the reaching. Most point guards, I think, can play with fouls because just tell them keep their hands out of the cookie jar, right? Stay away.
And keep
from
moving your feet on defense.
Just don't reach. If you're caught in different plays, or the other problem Anthony Robinson's got to be careful of, if he's driving the lane, don't pick up a charge.
13 now for Stojakovic, who's been in double figures in all 8 games for Cal this year.
I'd say Robinson's got to be careful only when he's playing against Blackshirt. Do not push off with your weak arm. They're going to call a foul eventually in this ballgame.
Now throwing a zone at Mizzou. 5 to shoot for Robinson. Into the lane. Robinson to the bucket. 17, a career high for Anthony Robinson II.
I like it. One thing he's got to be careful though, the weak side arm. He likes to the chicken wing as a little push off.
Mizzou's made their last 6 from the field. The offensive rebound and a hard fall going over the back of Mady Sissoko, and landing was Josh Gray, who's guilty of the foul. And we'll see if it warrants anything more than a common foul on Gray.
2 guys that have been around the block, so to speak. Sissoko from Michigan State, older, he graduated. And Josh Gray, been to LSU, to South Carolina, not Missouri, but 2 guys, 2 veteran players, physical guys inside. Sissoko wins that round.
So he's making the mini tour of the SEC, is what you're telling me. He'll sit, he's got 4 fouls now as Peyton Marshall comes back for him. Just a common foul. Team foul number 4 on Missouri.
And Dort is in the lineup for Cal. Remember the first half? I thought they had more energy with Dort in the lineup. Marshall, the freshman's got to be really good at blocking out. Dort's very aggressive.
Jeremiah Wilkinson. And the weak side rebound. Andre Stojakovic, the reverse.
Impressive. Cal had an answer. Missouri got all the way back, but never over the top. Matchup zone by the Cal Bears.
Tamar Bates. 3! 1-point game.
One of the purest strokes in college basketball. Numbers are off the chart last year and this year.
Andre Stojakovic answers for Cal.
Roxy, let's have a shootout. That's what we like.
Certainly, that's right up your alley.
I love it. There's really only one side of the game, just offense. Don't worry about that other side.
I don't think your old coach, Norm Sloan, would agree with that, though. The up and under, pretty move, Anthony Robinson the second. And an offensive foul on Cal.
A back and forth shootout at Mizzou Arena. Stojakovic shooting it like his dad used to. Bottom of the net, and on the other end, Tamar Bates continues. All silk.
Team averages 10.5 steals a game, but the work around the bucket tonight, not just Anthony Robinson, but Tamar Bates, the backcourt for Missouri, has helped bring them back.
Yeah, and I think it starts on the defensive end. They finally got stops, consecutive stops that allows you to run. This is a team that likes to run, and they've got enough guys from the outside that love to take shots, and when they're in a rhythm, the only way you can stop that rhythm is on your offensive end, find ways to get buckets.
I need to correct myself. Your former coach, Coach Stewart.
Yeah,
Norm
Stewart.
I should be that.
You knew that.
Yes, I did know that.
I knew it was a quick slip up.
But Missouri has come blazing out of the halftime locker room. 9 of 11 from the floor, combined for Robinson and Bates. And they have not turned the ball over since halftime. Missouri has not led since it was 15-14. 11:21 left in the first half. And a foul on the 3. Marquez Warwick will shoot 3. Third on Jeremiah Wilkinson.
Warwick's totally got the green light for Dennis Gates. We're talking about it at shoot around. I said, is he getting used to your system? He goes, he doesn't have to get used to anything. He's got the green light to shoot it. And I thought, what shooter doesn't want to hear that?
And the first miss from Warwick. He still has 2 more. Now 7 for 9 on the season. Over 2,300 career points. Now 1 for 2 this trip. We have you covered in Atlanta for the SEC Championship game Saturday, a 4-hour pregame. It all starts at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, with Marty and McGee, followed by SEC Nation. Then we'll have a Skycast version of the game just above the field of the SEC Championship. From 18 down, Mizzou has pulled even. Where will Cal turn to?
A much more physical team on the defensive end is Mizzou.
Lee Dort fumbles, recovers. Shot clock rolling down. Jovan Blacksher off on a 3. And the rebound, here comes Missouri. In transition, Marquez Warwick crashes the key.
Again, Roxy, it starts on the defensive end. No good looks for Cal. They mishandled a couple passes inside that might have been finishes around the rim. But if you don't get them, then Blacksher had to force up a shot at the buzzer. Not even close.
Second on Lee Dort. Marquez Warwick shooting 2. One more coming for Warwick, who's now 2 for 4 at the line. couple of years ago was the Horizon Tourney MVP when Northern Kentucky went to the big dance. Averaged just under 20 points per game last year, and now Missouri has their first lead since it was 15-14.
Blacksher, Wilkinson, Stojakovic.
And a steal, Peyton Marshall. Here comes Warwick. Anthony Robinson to the basket. Underneath, Peyton Marshall's first points of the night. Missouri has equaled their largest lead of the game.
Valuable minutes by the freshman Marshall off the bench. The second half for Dennis Gates.
Jovan Blacksher to miss from 3. Backdoor, wide open the lane, Marquez Warwick.
A defensive steal, an offensive bucket. Now give the big fella an assist.
34-13, Mizzou has outscored Cal since halftime in a 9-0 run for the Tigers. And a foul, the 4th on Tamar Bates.
Peyton Marshall, again, a defensive stop, offensive bucket. Then as the big man up with the high post, just wait till the defender clears. Your offensive man makes a cut down the middle, then assist.
Team foul number 5 on Missouri. And Bates with the 4 fouls will have to sit for a few minutes.
The most minutes that Peyton Marshall has logged so far in his freshman year is this in the second half. He was happy that the whistle blew, and there's been some time to rest,
to catch his breath.
It happens. 7 feet, 300 pounds. He makes Sissoko look kind of small.
Jovan Blacksher has a 3-pointer blocked. Jeremiah Wilkinson falling down underneath. Monty Sissoko ends the Missouri run.
Matchup zone, Roxy, the hands are down by the Cal Bears guards. They're not very tall anyway. If your hands are down, you can see over the floor. You can see, Robinson can see everything he wants to see leading the offense.
Knocked away, a steal for Cal. Blacksher knocked it away. Jeremiah Wilkinson in transition. He leads Cal with 19, but quickly back the other way. Anthony Robinson, 21.
Zero hesitation when the ball goes through the net for the opponent that Missouri doesn't push it to the other end.
The drop off, Monty Sissoko attacks the rim.
It's the strength of the guard Wilkinson that allows him to get to the paint. You beat your guy off the dribble, the low guy's got to help defend, and then the bounce pass perfectly set up.
Missouri is 82% from the floor in the second half.
And Roxy, I talk about strength as a guard, much like Perkins. If you get, he's strong too. If you get bumped off your route with the dribble, then you can't finish the play. You got to be solid enough in your rear end and your legs and your upper body.
4th foul on Jeremiah Wilkinson with 8:24 to go, so the freshman will have to sit for a little bit as Christian Tucker at the scorer's table to come in. Tony Perkins to the line for Mizzou.
One of the toughest things is to come in and make sure your team gets better when you're taking guys out that have played well.
Second annual SEC ACC Challenge continues tonight. Take you down to Baton Rouge next for Florida State LSU at 9 Eastern. And Thursday in women's action right here in Columbia, SMU and Missouri. One of the closing games in the challenge. Both games take place on SEC Network. Can be streamed on the ESPN app.
And after our game, Leonard Hamilton in his 23rd season at Florida State. That guy's very familiar with Leonard Hamilton. And then LSU Cam Carter, the transfer from Kansas State, has been fabulous for this LSU squad.
Andrei Stojakovic, 3, tie game. Career high tying 21 for Stojakovic.
And the tough part about running at a shooter, even with your hand up, you don't want to run a jump because then he'll ball fake you. But you got to get there more quickly to get in front of that shot line.
Nice feed, Anthony Robinson to Mark Mitchell. And Robinson is so under control.
He is so good. In the paint, in the lane, controlling any defender that's been on him.
Jovan Blacksher missing the 3, and Mark Mitchell the rebound. And the steal, Blacksher took it away. 2-on-1, behind the back. And Rytis Petraitis is fouled by Mark Mitchell. And free throws for Cal.
The Cal bench wants a technical foul on Mitchell after the foul slammed the basketball down. Smart play by Blacksher. Makes a pass, here's the contact, and then when he gets the ball, he slams it to the ground. Cal bench wants a technical foul.
And keep in mind, they already had a delay of game warning in the first half.
Exactly.
I don't know if we have a more entertaining game than ours right here in Columbia, Missouri.
Two teams that have played well, and Anthony Robinson, you take a look at his numbers. 8 for 11 from the field. He's got 12 second-half points. His teammate Tamar Bates has 11 second-half points. They have dominated the play in second half with their ability to control the basketball and to shoot it. Missouri, 15 of 18 from the field in this second half.
One more for Rytis Petraitis, who has 9 for Cal. And Petraitis remains perfect at the line. Our 8th tie of the night.
Roxy, what's interesting, the observation is Cal has answered now Missouri. They didn't go away. They're still here. Now you're even on the road. 7 minutes left to go. That's where you'd want to be. Wow.
Tamar Bates flying down the lane, back in the game with his 4 fouls.
Second big jam of the night for Bates.
13 of his 15 since halftime. Jovan Blacksher. Mady Sissoko. Petraitis missing point blank, and Missouri the rebound. Approaching 6.5 to go. Off balance. Peyton Marshall at 1 made field goal all season's got 2 here in the second half.
And how about the minutes for Dennis Gates that Peyton Marshall has put in?
If you're Mark Madsen, do you go with Stojakovic trying to attack Bates and foul him out?
I think you've just got to continue to try to play, try to get your best shots, but Stojakovic has got to be more aggressive.
And Rytis Petraitis still down, took a hard fall after making the bucket. And it's his left ankle that he is grabbing. And keep in mind, Mark Madsen already has a thin roster in terms of some of the guys he's missing. He got Jovan Blacksher back tonight after missing the last 3 games. DJ Campbell and BJ Omat, 2 starters, are out for the 4th consecutive game tonight. Petraitis, first off, he went to the Air Force Academy first. You know he's tough.
Well, and he said he was okay, but when you see him walk, take a look at the injury. He doesn't look okay. Landed awkwardly, and when he walks off the court, something's not quite right with that left knee. Somewhere on the leg.
So it's just over 6 minutes to go. Mark Madsen bringing Jeremiah Wilkinson back with his 4 fouls. So he's playing with 4. Tamar Bates for Missouri on the floor with 4.
So any surprise that Anthony Robinson will have the ball in his hands? Tamar Bates will be another guy that's looking, when he touches it, those 2 guys are the main scorers offensively for this Tiger squad. Again, hands down out front. Anthony Robinson, 6'3", can see anything he wants to see.
The pull-up, Robinson. That's the first miss in the last 15 field goal attempts for Missouri. Nice drop off, and Buddy Sissoko rams it home.
Hey, let's raise the rim for him too. He can join the 13-foot rim keeper. My goodness.
We're tied, 5:20 to go.
Swing it more quickly. You got Bates for a jump shot.
Bates missing a three, and Stojakovic the rebound. Here comes Cal racing up the floor. They have numbers, but the steal by Robinson couldn't control it, and now Bates does. Countering Missouri. Tony Perkins, the drop-off with a lay-in, Mark Mitchell.
4-point swing. It was numbers on one end, turnover, bucket on the other.
And a foul in Missouri. And Jovan Blacksher will go to the line, and Tony Perkins in disbelief that he's guilty of the foul.
Well, we had a lot of shots, jump shots early. But lately it's been pounding the rim. Tamar Bates on one end.
And then Tamar Bates found our camera too.
And Monty Sissoko on the other. What a good basketball game, Roxy.
This is fun.
You know, two teams, trying to figure themselves out. Got through the month of November. Neither one played a difficult schedule. They'd admit that.
That's the 5th foul on Jeremiah Wilkinson.
Smart play by Robinson, but Wilkinson's got to ask the official, how would you like me to play? I mean, I'm just sliding defensively. Robinson knew Wilkinson had 4 personal fouls, took his body into Wilkinson's body, got the whistle. And Mark Madsen said, how do you want me to teach that? My guy's hands are up, and he's sliding. My defender doesn't have to give up territory.
Wilkinson fouls out with 19 points. The reigning ACC Freshman of the Week, a Rookie of the Week. We'll see who Cal's going with. Ritas Petritis is cranking his sneaker tight at the far end of the bench, and he looks like he wants to come back, but Christian Tucker will now re-enter the game for Mark Madsen.
Petritis didn't have his shoe tied, so when they yelled down for him, he's trying to get it tied. Mark Madsen shook his head.
1-1 for Anthony Robinson II.
A big blow to Cal, though, because of the way Wilkinson could control the basketball and get shots for himself and his teammates.
Now perfect 6 for 6 from the line, and a career night for Robinson. He's got 22. And one more for Anthony Robinson II. Started each of the last 5 games now for Dennis Gates. Came off the bench last year as a freshman. Well, it was a miserable season with so many man games lost to injury for Missouri. And now the Tigers with a 4-point lead. And the errant pass and a turnover. Mark Mitchell attacks and one.
The strength of Mark Mitchell is to get out and run the floor. His ability to keep the ball on the bounce, and he can attack and go either way. And what I mean by that is he can plant and take it with the left hand, plant, take it with the right hand. So it's hard to take a charge on him. Turns his body the right way, does not commit the foul, gets contact, but can finish.
The call on the court is a goaltend. Previous plays under review.
So they have called a goaltend, even though the hoop went in. Yet I believe it gives him the option here if they determine there was basket interference offensively by Missouri.
Very high, but Asa Newell's a great freshman. But their backcourt, the 2 sophomores, Demery and Blue Kane, are terrific, and they got 2 transfers, Dakota LeFew, Mount St. Mary's, and Tyron Lawrence, who came over from Vandy. They've got an unbelievable backcourt that's hard to defend.
So the SEC, the early 1-0 lead on the ACC. Mark Mitchell missing the free throw. Inside 4 minutes and Missouri's largest lead of the night. Andre Stojakovic on the drive, and a career high 23 for Stojakovic.
Solid move, went back to the left hand. Good matchup. Stojakovic 6'7", now a little bit taller on a guy like Ant Robinson who's 6'3". See, there's that bump. He likes to get in. Boy, that's physical power right there.
Rytas Petritis back in the game for Cal after he rolled the ankle. And the foul is on Marty Sissoko, his third, and that will put Peyton Marshall at the line, which this has been an adventure for Marshall. He is 5 for 14 from the foul line. And with Missouri in the double bonus, he'll shoot 2.
And nearly 12 minutes of play in this. I mean, it's impressive in the second half. I'll give him this. He held the follow through. And it's hard to do when you know it's off by a little bit.
It's a work in progress. One more for Peyton Marshall. He came to Mizzou from Overtime Elite, the Atlanta kid. He was the Georgia 5A Player of the Year. But the offensive rebound, Mitchell kept it alive for Mizzou. And the foul is on Blacksher. And that will put Anthony Robinson at the line for Missouri. Seven for 7 from the line, and a frustrated Mark Madsen.
And Blacksher spending time with the official out front, addressing the space that an offensive player should get and what the defensive player should get. And how, again, I would ask the official, how would you like me to play it if the guy's shoulders into me? Make the official tell you.
Rolls in for Robinson. He's got a game high and a career high, 24.
Fresh body when Marcus Allen came in. He will guard Stojakovic. Terrific defender as a freshman. Stojakovic has had a solid night.
Bodies went crashing, and Stojakovic goes to run it down, and they call an over and back violation. Cal with a turnover.
Missouri has been ultra aggressive on any of the weave handoffs out front in the second half.
Mark Madsen taking his full timeout here with 3:09 to go. And Mark visibly upset, feeling there should have been a foul call with Petritis getting knocked down. If you're heading to the SEC championship game or looking for something to do Friday and Saturday in Atlanta, stop by the Dr. Pepper SEC Fan Fair. It's going to be live music with Dan and Shay, giveaways, interactive games, plus Marty and McGee. And SEC Nation will be doing their shows live Saturday starting at noon Eastern. It all begins Friday at 1 Eastern at the Georgia World Congress Center for Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship game. So Mark Madsen was pleading his case there, and to no avail, clearly.
Again, they run a lot of weave out front. There's a dribble handoff. Dennis Gates has told the officials, watch on the dribble handoff if they turn their body and hit us with the rear end. Mark Madsen is saying, and I believe it was Trent Pierce that shot the gap and knocked his guy that's going to get the handoff, knocked him down. It was Petritis who went down. No whistle, no call. Turns out to be over back. A turnover. They've had more turnovers in this second half. Now with 8 than they did in the first half. A lot of time left in this game, though.
5-point lead for Missouri. Again, Cal led by as many as 18 in the first half. And Cal, they're trying to win on the road against an SEC team for the first time. The last time they beat an SEC team was the second round of the NIT in March of 2014 when they beat Arkansas at Cal. And John, I called that game with Bill Walton. Remember that game well.
Wow. You have great memories.
Yeah,
Bill Walton.
I do.
What a treasure.
We lost a great teammate here at ESPN.
Well, they've changed up defensively. Blackshear now on Bates.
Knocked away, Jovan Blackshear, and a foul as Rytis Petraitis was looking to throw it up ahead, and Tamar Bates has fouled out with 2:53 to play.
Frustrated foul. He got it knocked away, and then he chased the ball. Blackshear made a terrific on-ball, reach-around deflection, and Bates chased the ball, picks up his 5th. Mark Madsen had changed. He put Ola Joseph at 6'7" on Anthony Robinson for his length to see if he could just keep him out of the lane. Once it went to Bates, Bates has the smaller Blackshear on him, tries to beat him off the dribble. We've already seen the value of Blackshear on both ends of the floor. Very smart play. He knocks it away, Petraitis picks it up. But Tamar Bates takes himself, now that he fouled out, 2:53 left. One of the guys that has really been productive in this second half.
Bates with 13 of his 15 since halftime. So he's fouled out for Missouri. Jeremiah Wilkinson is fouled out for Cal. And Rytis Petraitis a 1-and-1, the 8th Missouri team foul.
So offensively, Anthony Robinson, the value, he's had a fabulous game. And then you've got Warwick, the other scorer. Mitchell's a guy that can get you something inside. Maybe Gray offensive rebound. Same with Allen inside. So expect the ball to be in Robinson's hands a lot. If he gives it off, it'll be the guy like Warwick, because Warwick's got a lot of abilities to make shots.
Petraitis now 8 for 8 from the foul line. And he cuts it to a 3-point Missouri lead. Season high 14 for Rytis Petraitis. And then here's another tie-in between like Missouri and Cal. The Arkansas coach, the last time that Cal beat an SEC team.
Yeah.
Mike Anderson.
Oh, wow.
Former Missouri coach.
Got just a whole thing going.
It's all interwoven here. And that was a kick that almost went in by Rytis Petraitis.
That'd have been a YouTube thing for years.
May have been an SC top 10 if he got in the bucket.
Even the vaunted antlers underneath were kind of clapping for Petraitis. They usually don't smile at the opponents at all. One, 2-2. How much will they trap? Not bad. Now pull it back. Robinson has liked the matchup because of his size advantage over Blackshear.
Flipped up and in. Peyton Marshall again.
What a ball game.
Unlikely hero. Marshall has 6.
And already a crowd favorite at Mizzou Arena.
Rytis Petraitis left open. 3!
An answer.
17 for Petraitis.
What a ball game.
10 threes for Cal tonight. Anthony Robinson lost the handle. Mitchell. And a whistle because the ball was rolling away.
That's it.
And they wanted to stop the clock. Timeout, Missouri.
It's a smart timeout by Dennis Gates. I think the officials were trying to think if that's a delay of game again. How about Marshall? What a fabulous second half by this big freshman. 7 feet, 300 pounds.
Missouri's 21 for 25 from the floor in the second half.
And many of their buckets have come in the paint. This one by Mark Mitchell gets away with a little bit of the hook, but punishes inside. Now, when the ball went through, Tony Perkins kind of stood over the basketball. The official blew the whistle. But as he was walking, he did not say delay a game, which Mark Madsen was screaming for. Dennis Gates called the timeout. And I think for that reason.
Well, he did graduate from Cal in 3 years, so you were talking about his smarts.
Well, I don't know if it was it Madsen told me or something. He said the reason Roxy and Gates went to Cal because they couldn't get in Stanford. I don't know if that was Madsen who said it.
Just full disclosure, I never applied to Stanford.
Gosh, think of this. These two teams have this game tonight. Cal then plays arch rival Stanford on Saturday. Missouri has Kansas coming here Sunday. What a week.
And what a ball game here in Columbia, Missouri.
And nothing screams ACC, SEC basketball more than Cal at Missouri.
Of course, Cal's first year in the ACC. Pass deflected and loose. Here comes Tony Perkins. Ahead. Mark Mitchell. Third foul on Ritas Petritis, and Mitchell a season high 21.
And it might have been Tony Perkins that had the steal and knocked it away that allowed the Tigers to get out on the run. Active hands defensively has been a ton for this Missouri team in the second half. They've bothered Cal, but they've been able to turn defensive possessions into offensive easy baskets on the other end.
Last time out for Mark Madsen, he just took it with 1:17 to go, and Missouri up 6, and Anthony Robinson the second, a career high 24 to lead Mizzou.
Well, he's been a spectacular start of the game, and then the entire second half where he's been able to, that's the first shot of the game right there. He's been able to control any defender off the dribble, get to the paint, make shots, create passes for his teammates. But Cal has not been able to keep him away from 7-footers, 8-footers, 10-footers, easy type shots, and they've not forced him to take long jumpers.
And he's our Continental Tire player of the game. Anthony Robinson the second, 8 of 11 from the floor, 24 points, 6 assists, and he has controlled it for Dennis Gates tonight. So an and one free throw for Mark Mitchell, who's 4 for 7 from the line. 9 second half California turnovers have led to 14 Missouri points. But an astounding 22 of 26 from the field.
Amazing. Entirely different team in this second half. See if Cal has any answers left.
Andrei Stojakovic tries to turn the corner, draws the foul, and that's the 4th on Anthony Robinson the second. 2 shots for Stojakovic.
And again, let's reiterate the value of Stojakovic because he's a great shooter, but even better this season, off the bounce, drawing contact, using his size and his height against guards to take them into the lane, get shots, and then get to the free throw line.
And his first miss from the line, he's 4 for 5. And Cal is 18 for 22 from the stripe tonight.
And Cal's going to have to put full court pressure on. You've got Perkins, guy that was Big Ten, all Big Ten player, handled the basketball. Warwick, veteran player with a basketball. Robinson's been great. Can Cal force any turnover?
And they foul Robinson. The 4th on Ritas Petritis, and in the double bonus, so 2 free throws for Anthony Robinson the second. Missouri with 57 points and counting since halftime.
Came in this game averaging 90 points, and there was a point in the first half we thought, well, they've really struggled, won't get to that number. But this second half has been, man, it's just been a blur.
Now 9 for 10 from the line for Robinson. Well, when you shoot 85% from the floor in a half,
it's pretty good. You're going to win most games.
Things are going to go your way.
Roxy, they call that good coaching.
1 for 2, still a 2-possession game. And a foul As Jovan Blacksher stumbled across Marcus Allen, the second foul in the freshman.
And anytime Blacksher goes down like that, you worry because he had the major knee injury a couple years ago.
And that's the double bonus. 2 shots for Blacksher. 57.4 to go. Reminder coming up next. Florida State and LSU from Baton Rouge right here on SEC Network. Blacksher, who had a terrific first half, scoreless in the second half. And you wonder if fatigue, John, for him missing the last 3 games, hasn't played a game in a couple weeks.
Yeah, good point. I also think there's a focus in the second half for Missouri out front to cover Blacksher up. They switched better on him. They didn't allow him the freedom to spot up and shoot those threes as he did the first half. When he turned the corner, went to the bucket, they double teamed, made him kick it out, make passes.
Made them both. 4-point lead for Mizzou. Defensively, you play it out, or do you foul if your Cal start playing that game?
No, I think you become aggressive and start trapping, trying to force turnovers. I don't think you have to foul. You got 2-possession game. You got to see if Missouri will make mistakes. See loose with the basketball.
And a timeout for Dennis Gates.
And Missouri's only loss of this season, they didn't handle the ball well against the Memphis press. Obviously, they've worked on it since then, but Cal understands that. Trap, put some pressure on, see if they're loose.
Full timeout here for Dennis Gates. And Missouri, who has won 6 in a row coming into this one. But this is clearly a step up in competition for Mizzou, considering who the last 4 opponents were, and you beat Mississippi Valley State by over 70 points.
You know, I think each team and each coach now puts together schedules, especially with all the transfers, all the new bodies teams get. Are you sure what you have? Probably not. I think November's used to see what you have, what you can get. You get to December and you're going to have some phenomenal games, and then both of these teams get into league play in January. There's plenty of good games and good teams to play, and I do think both of these coaching staffs put together schedules in November to say, okay, we need wins because that's what's important. But we got to find out who we have, what we have, and what we can become. And I'll go to both sides. I think Missouri fans could see, hey, there's probably a new leader on the floor in Anthony Robinson. And I think if you're a Cal guy, you've got an old guy like Blacksher that's the guy you count on. But Jeremiah Wilkinson, I mean, he can be a star in the ACC. I mean, a star. Hard to guard, hard to play against. Now, he fouled out, and that hurts the Cal team. But you wouldn't have said that 20 days ago. You wouldn't have thought of Wilkinson could hurt if he's not in the lineup.
So now it's 3-0 in favor of the SEC, with Georgia beating Notre Dame. And then a couple other wins for the SEC that just went final. Arkansas and South Carolina winning. Into the backcourt to Mark Mitchell.
Well, Joe Lunardi starts early. He's got 12 teams from the SEC in already.
And another timeout for Missouri and Dennis Gates, which is their last, with 42.8 to go. And this is a 30. And again, a 4-point lead for Mizzou. And Tennessee right now about to finish off Syracuse, so it's really going well for the SEC, who's not only having success tonight, John, but you look at Feast Week, for example. Auburn going over to Maui and winning that tournament, a huge tournament for Janai Broome. Oklahoma winning a championship during Feast Week. It's been a really good run early in this season. Florida's playing great, and the SEC is rolling right now.
It's a loaded league top to bottom, and you've got great veterans like Zakai Ziegler, Tennessee, or Janai Broome you mentioned. You got great newcomers, freshmen, Trey Johnson in Texas, a phenomenal freshman. Guys who are stepping up and changing the way teams are looked at. And when you have these preseason polls, I don't vote on them because I have no clue who's going to be good. But you're always amazed, like an Oklahoma all of a sudden goes and wins a tournament. You go, who are all these guys? And they've got great freshmen in Fears, and they got transfer and more, and fun to watch.
Anthony Robinson runs it down.
Smart play. Keep your dribble alive.
Lost the ball. Joshua Olajoseph, but Cal doesn't have a timeout. He dove for the loose ball and called timeout. Cal doesn't have any. We'll see if they granted it. And if they did, that's a technical on Cal. And somewhere Chris Webber is cringing.
Well, the hard part for a player is you don't have timeouts. It's been mentioned in your huddle. But what's natural in today's game when you dive on the floor and to get a ball, I don't know if they're discussing their potentially maybe they could say there was a travel before the timeout.
Or a tie-up if Missouri had their hands in it.
I mean, they've
I think I saw the technical motion, though, from one of the officials. And it is. So the technical against Cal for calling a timeout when they didn't have one. 2 shots for Anthony Robinson II on the technical assessed to Cal. And Robinson 9 for 11 from the free throw line tonight. And one more for Robinson, who's having a career night. 26 for Robinson, along with his 6 assists. 8 of 11 from the floor, and now 10 for 12 from the stripe.
Some of the hardest free throws to make, I think, are technicals because you're all by yourself. Nobody's around. Especially at home, it gets dead quiet. On the road, they're yelling, you think no big deal. When it gets dead quiet, I always thought that was the toughest one to make.
So at the point of interruption, the technical was called. It is a Cal ball in a 6-point game with 36.8 to go.
Still 2-possession game.
But were free throws ever a problem for you?
No. I guess not. I mean, I miss some. I missed some big ones.
Occasionally you missed one.
You missed some big ones. You know, when early in my career, college is the only way I was going to score. So you really focus. I thought I could get a free point.
Stojakovic inside and finishes. 4-point lead. And now Cal has to foul.
I think neither team has a timeout. So can you trap him and can you get him in trouble?
And they foul Robinson. It's the 3rd on Stojakovic.
Well, when I watch this, Stojakovic, if you move your feet, you've probably got Robinson trapped, and there's nowhere to go. Robinson likes to get his body in, but instead of reaching, natural tendency might be to reach because you're trying to get a steal. If you just bottle him up in that far corner, it becomes really difficult as a player to see over the top, see anything. Now Robinson can go, add to his totals.
And he continues to knock him down. 28 for Anthony Robinson. Most points in a game this season by a Missouri player. Other than Caleb Drill, the players that are available tonight for Dennis Gates. But without Grill, Missouri came storming back, and now with 22.6 to go, it's still a 6-point game.
Probably need a 3. See what they've got set up.
The lob for Mady Sissoko, and he drops it in.
So you got to get up quickly. I guess you're going to have to foul. 12 seconds.
And the foul, it's on Blackshirt. His 3rd, and that will send Tony Perkins to the line for Missouri.
Roxy, did you think we'd see a 97-93 game with these two teams?
Not at the half when Missouri only had 35. But before the game, look, Missouri's averaging over 90 points per game. Cal's averaging right around 80. I thought we'd get up and down, maybe not into the mid to high 90s.
And what happens is down the stretch, you get a lot of free throws. Close game. I still think Cal's got to take a lot away from this game.
Checking in from Missouri, number 23, David Shaw.
One more for Perkins. Now 2 for 4 at the line. The grad transfer from Iowa. Cal without a timeout, needs to go quick.
Yeah, too slow, too much dribble.
Ritas Petritis missing a 3. And a tie-up going for the rebound. And the jump ball belongs to Cal with 0.6 of a second left. But a phenomenal second half performance by Missouri. They were down 18 late in the first half. Cal led by 16 at the half. And Missouri has outscored Cal 63-42 in the second half, shooting 85% from the floor.
And questions answered for Dennis Gates at halftime, right? Are we tough enough? Are we good enough? And can we finish things off? And they do. Impressive win.
Final 98-93 Missouri for John Sunbold on our SEC